Good morning, sir.
Afternoon.
Good
Good afternoon,
afternoon.
Good
sir.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, all of you. How are you all? How are you
We
all
are
doing?
also we are good.
Good? Okay. Very
Good
good.
afternoon, sir.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon, sir.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, sir.
Very warm and pleasant good afternoon. Gone through the chapter, all of you? Read the story, Bholi? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Very good. How many of you who all have read the chapter or the summary? Bholi. Yes, raise your hand. Raise your hand, those who have read the chapter. Only one voice said, Naira Qureshi, Shrestha, Sagar Porwal also. What about? Slowly the hands are coming. Dev Jain, very good. Mohit Nagar. So there are students who have gone through the chapter. Very good. I appreciate you. I appreciate your hard work and your interest that you have read the chapter. Now you will understand it better. Okay? Yes. So the title of the chapter is written for you, that is Bholi. Bholi. Whom do we call Bholi? What is the meaning of the word Bholi? Any one of you?
Sir, the one who is innocent.
Innocent.
Yes.
Innocence written.
Pretend. So the one who is innocent, the one who is simple, okay? You can say someone who is ordinary, who looks, who behaves, who talks simple way, remains simple, dresses simple, talks simple. So, Bholi. Innocence also another word which you are using. So, innocence also is correct. Innocence or simple or ordinary. The Hindi word is Bholi. So, the title of the chapter, title of the story we are going to read is Bholi by K.A. Abbas. The writer's name is K.A. Abbas. Now, if we read the story and those who have gone through the chapter, those who have gone through the story, they would read, they would know about the characters, the protagonist of the characters, protagonist of the story. So, the protagonist is Bholi and her another name is Sulekha. Okay, she has got another name, Sulekha. And she is the youngest child of Nambardar of the village. Nambardar is, what is the meaning of Nambardar? What's the meaning of Nambardar? A revenue?
Revenue official.
Yes, revenue official. So someone who deals with the revenue, someone who deals with the revenue of the land, the farms, property. So that is Nambardar, a post there in Panchayat system. So Nambardar Ramlal, his name was Ramlal. He had 7 children. How many children? How many?
7.
7.
7.
3 sons and 4 daughters. 3 sons and 4 daughters. And already his 2 daughters, elder daughters, had got married. They settled. And third one was going to get ready for it. And his sons were studying in city school. And the Nambardar, because he had a good job, good income, he was enjoying a good life, he was giving a good education, good values, good um, all kind of facility to his children. Another person is Bishambarnath. Bishambarnath is one who deals in grocery. Bishambarnath is a businessman of the same village, of different village. He his job was to deal in grocery. He used to sell the groceries and he earned good amount of money. He had a big house, many servants working there. But the problem is that he was a widower. He had got married and he had many children, but his wife had passed away and now he was living alone. Now, what is the story? I have given you a short introduction about the character Sulekha. She is a 7-year old around girl, youngest child of Nambardar. Nambardar's name is Ramlal. He has got 7 children, 3 sons and 4 daughters, and his sons were studying in the city. He provided all the facilities to his children, but there was an exception with Bholi. He did all the things, all the facilities for all his son, but and daughters, but exception for Bholi. Then there is another character, Bishambarnath, a well man of the village. He had plenty of wealth, property, a good business, a good house, and grown up children, and he had a widower, and he takes a chance to get married to a girl who was younger in age to him. So those who have read the story, those who have read the chapter, they might have understood the plot of the story, what I want to say or what we are going to read here. Yes. So Naira Qureshi or those who raise the hand, if you are ready to tell me the story. Yes, out of 5, 7 students, who is going to tell the class the story in your own words, the summary or the story of the chapter in your own words? Yes, Naira, Mohit, Sagar, Devjain, Srestha, you were there, all these students, and anyone else, any other student who has gone through the chapter, who can tell the class the summary or the story in your own words. Who is going to do it for? Yes? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. I can't see any hand. I can't see hand of Naira. I can't see hand of Mohit. Mohit says he knows in Hindi. No, Mohit, you have to speak in English. Srestha Jain.
Hi.
Yes, who is going to begin? Raise your hand and start. Who is going to speak? Who is going to speak? Srestha is there. Okay. So Srestha is going to speak the story in her own words. She has gone through the chapter yesterday or today, and all of you listen carefully, understand what she speaks, okay, and then we shall read again from the book line by line later on. Yes, Srestha, begin.
Yes, sir. Sir, this story is about a girl whose name was Bholi. Her real actual name was Sulekha. When she was born and too young, fell from uh, she fell fallen off the cot and damaged her head, some part of her brain, and became a backward child. She was born, she was very fair and pretty, but when she turned to 2 years old, she got an attack of smallpox, and the spots of that smallpox remained on her face for lifetime. She,
Yes.
She was discriminated by her father a lot. He didn't like her actually. But when there was an inauguration of primary girls school in the village, uh, his father was invited in the inauguration, and Pal- Tehsil Saab asked him to open the to do the opening ceremony of primary school, and asked him to send his girls to the primary schools to set up an example for the girls of the girls of the other girls of the village. And tehsil tehsildar uh, for his image, Bholi's father thought of sending Bholi to the school because he knew that if the girls educated in the village, noble will marry them, and he knew that Bholi was a backward child, has spots on her face, was not looking really very good, and noble will marry her. So he decided to send Bholi to the schools so that he will keep the words to the Tehsildar Sahab. He sent Bholi to the school, but she was very scared of everyone in the school. She used to sit at the corner of the class and never talks to anyone. But when her teacher motivated her to study and be a good child, she was very happy to know that, and uh, she collected all her courage and studied well a lot. So when she was about a age of marriage, her father thought of marrying her to a old man of 45 years old, Bhishambar Nath, who was very rich but too older to to her girl. But Bholi had to marry her because her father and she know that no one will marry her because she was not too pretty. So they agreed to the proposal of Bishambar Nath, and uh, and want accepted his Bishambar Nath proposal. But when they were at the marriage, um, Bishambar Nath and Bholi sat down at the mandap. But when they were about to put the garland in there, put the garlands, Bholi disagreed to the proposal, and she spoke out well against Vishambarnath.
Yes. Finish.
Yes, sir.
Very good. You can all clap for her. Yes. Very well said by Srestha Jane. Very good explanation. Who else is going to try? Those who have read this? Naira, Mohit, Sagar, Dev Jain. What about you? Okay, Dev is ready. Yes, Dev. Now I have written plenty of hints on the board. You can take even help of those hints. All of you can see the board clearly. There are sentence, words, phrases written for your help about the character Sulekha. Sulekha is none other than Bholi. Her actual name was Sulekha, but she was called Bholi by the parents. Yes, Devjan. Dev, continue.
Sir, in the previous time, in a village, there was a family whose head was Ramlal, who was a Nambardar, and he was the father of three sons and four daughters. His three sons had gone for studying outside the village, and the elder sister Radha and Mangla was married, and they were about to plan for Champa, and her youngest daughter Bholi, whose real name was Sulekha, was the youngest sister among them. When she was born, she was very pretty, but uh, at the age of 2, She was attacked by the smallpox, and her whole face was spoiled. And also, at the age of 10 months, she was fallen from her cot and damaged the brain of her the part of her brain. And then she became a backward child, and she was not noticed by anybody in her family, and she was not treated well by anyone in the village or her family. Uh, once once the Tehsildar asked Ramlal about the ceremony of the new primary school opened there, because he said Ramlal that you should send one of your daughter to the school because you are a Nambardar to represent our village. And when Ramlal told about this to her wife, she said, "Have you gone mad? Because we can't send our daughters to school, as if we do that, no one will marry." But then her wife suggested that you can send Bholi to the school, because I can't see her future bright, and if you will send her, it will not affect, because she would not marry. Matlab, no one would marry her. No one would marry her in the future, so it doesn't affect. So at next day, Ramlal took Bholi and took to school, but Bholi was very frightened because she thought that Ramlal is taking her for to sell her, like her cow Lakshmi, who was never returned. But then Bholi was very frightened, and then Ramlal said to her wife to dress her up fine, so that no one could pretend that she belongs to means she belongs to us. So make her wear some good dress and make her hairs good. So then her wife does the same. And when Ramlal took her to the school, her mistress took Bholi to a class, and Bholi sat down at a corner in the class. Then Bholi saw her age girls around her and felt some relief. She saw that all the girls are sitting on the floor like her, and they have taken a book and studying. But Bholi couldn't identify anything. She was just looking at the pictures on the walls. She looked at the brown horse, to whom she compared about the Tehsildar's horse, and she looked a white cow, whom she compared with her Lakshmi, and she saw parrots, to whom she compared to the parrots who she has seen in the mango yard. Then and at the same time, her teacher came and stand nearby her. When Bholi saw her teacher, um, she was frightened that what will happen now. Then the teacher asked her, "What is your name?" But Bholi was stammering so much and she can't tell her name. Then after the class again, her teacher came to her when all the children's dispersed. The teacher again came to her and sweetly said, "Bholi, how are you?" Then Bholi was very surprised, because in her life only her teacher was the one who told her name so softly. And then her teacher asked, "What is your name?" Then Bholi was again stammering. Then, but the teacher was encouraging her that you can say your name. Then she finally said her name, and she herself was very surprised that she has said his name fully correctly. Then her teacher said her that you can do whatever you want once you take out the fear from you. And then her teacher gifted means given her a book uh, in which letters were given, big letters, and said her that you need to read all these letters and learn them. and when you uh, complete this book, I will give you next and then next. And after doing all this, you will be very intelligent and the most intelligent in the village. And this continues. Then after some time, it was the Ramlal took the proposal of Bhishma Nath, who wants to marry Bholi, and her wife also said that yes, it is a great chance to marry Bholi with Bhishma Nath, because he was from different village and he don't know anything about Bholi. But Ramlal said her that Bhishma Nath is of very is very older, and he is very big, same as the age of mine. He was 45 or 50. So her wife said it doesn't matter, because no one would marry Bholi rather than him, and he is very rich. I heard that he has very big balance in her bank, in his bank. And then they decided to marry with Bhishma Nath. When the marriage was continuing, and Bhishmanath was uh, about to
Put garland.
take the yes put the garland on Bholi's head, Bholi's neck, and when a lady pull Bholi's cloth from her face, then that time Vishwanath saw her face that it was full filled with pox, smallpox, smallpox patches. And then he said that I could not marry her because she doesn't look beautiful. She is very dirty from her face. And then Bishmanath argued to Ramlal that I need 5,000 rupees to marry her. Then Ramlal said that I can't give you 5,000 rupees, and Ramlal put his scarf on Bishmanath's leg and said that I can only give you 2,000 rupees. But Bishmanath did not agree and said that you need to give me 5,000 only. Then after some time Ramlal agreed, and then Ramlal gave him 5,000 rupees. But when he was about to put the garland on Bholi's neck, Bholi stopped him and said that I can't marry you because you are taking dowry and it is not fine. Then all the villagers were surprised that Bholi is speaking without stammering. And Bholi said to Ramlal that Pitaji, I could not marry him because he is taking dowry from us. Then all the villagers were saying that how shameless she is. She is not beautiful. Then also she is arguing with his husband. And then Bholi said that yes, I know that you all understand me like a cow, that I am Bholi like a cow, but I am not like that. I could not bear everything which is happening with me. And then finally, the Bhishmanath took his people and returned to his village. And then Ramlal asked her, "Now what will you do? Because no one will marry you." So she said that I would do a job in the school in which I studied, and I will the whole life I will serve to you. And then she asked that, am I right, teacher? So her teacher said yes, of course. And then everyone see that her teacher was beside the marriage, and then the story end.
Very good. Very good, Dev Jain. You can all give him a good clap. Very good. So, those who have read the story, gone through the chapter, they have understood, and rest also, those who have heard the story attentively with 100% attention, dedication, okay, they also have understood what is the plot of the story. Yes or no? Am I clear? You all understood the story now? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is there anyone who hasn't understood the story? I don't think is there anyone. There is? Is there anyone? Because the story has been said twice in a simple language by your own classmates, and I hope it has been very well explained to the class. So a good job by both the students. Now, do you think this story is practical? Do you think like this event or incident can happen in real life? What do you say? Do you think
Yes, sir.
this is
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yes?
In many villages,
In
it
many villages, in many villages,
And sir, this, yes, sir.
speak.
No, no, sir, you continue, sir.
So many villages, and not only villages but also in the cities. Okay, so it is not that only uneducated people or illiterate people or the villagers they ask for dowry, or this kind of discrimination is done by them. But there are also other educated people, good people, rich people, elite class, high class society. Also, this thing happen. Yes or no? Do you agree with me or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it can take both the place, but yes, I would like to add that with the education, with the advancement and development in education, the things are changing now. Now, if we can say that Doris, the ratio was 80%, so now we could say that it has come down to 40%, 30%. Even though the things are hidden, it is not visible because nobody does that in front of the public. But whatever happens, but still the number has come down. Earlier, there were plenty of incidents, many incidents in the newspaper, magazines, TV, radio, where because of dowry, the bride has been thrown out from the house, or the marriage hasn't taken place, or the marriages have been broken, or the girls or the bride have been burnt alive, they have been killed, they have been murdered because their in-laws asked for the dowry after the marriage, and when the daughter's family couldn't fulfill their demand, they create such incident, such situation that in many of the movies, Bollywood movies, you might have seen, and no, this is not fictional. Earlier, it was there in plenty, but because of a strong rule and law by the government, up to some extent, we can say, and also because of education and courage of the girls, we have been able to fight with the dowry system. Yes, otherwise it was some years back, it was very difficult for a man to get married his daughter until and unless he had money. Now also I don't deny it is there, things are there, but it has been reduced, it has been minimized. Yes. So the story is about a village, but it reflects the whole society. Even though the plot has been set up in the village, the setting of the story is a small village, but it is not that it is restricted only to villages. In cities, in educated society, in sophisticated high class society also, like this incident can happen, and they happen. It has been found out. So in the story, we read about Bholi, a simpleton, a simple girl. Her name was Sulekha, but everybody used to call her Bholi, especially the parents, mother and father, they used to call her Bholi. And you would see that the parents are discriminating. Ramlal had 7 children. He sent his 3 sons for study to city, and he also gave good clothes, good facilities to his other daughters. the elder ones. Since Bholi was the youngest one and she had an ugly face, she had pock marks on her face because of smallpox when she was 2 year old she had developed, and because of her what to say when